Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, is brought to you by Rhino Rack, make space for adventure, Shade Wagon, throw some shade, and by DragonFireTools.com, industrial workbenches with integrated tool storage.
This is Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com. Now, whether you have a vehicle like this magnificent 1970 Chevelle owned by Mark Honeycutt, or just a daily driver, you know you want your car to last a long, long time. The car's your baby. You want it to perform better and be more efficient while you're driving it, and that is where Prolube enters the picture. Now, first here, Eli, we want to talk about Prolube's heritage because it was tried and tested early on in a really tough environment. How did Prolube get its start?
Yeah, absolutely. So my grandfather, Paul Wireman, he started Riverside Drag Strip and Speedway back in 1960s, and it lasted to about the 70s.
It's up in Ohio.
Up in Ohio, yes, sir. And he had his start in racing, early 20-year-old, and then he went up to racing street stocks and that sort of thing. So racing has always been in our family and has always been a part of what we do.
And that is where he developed lubricants that he was able to field test there in the motorsports world, and later on then servicing actual passenger vehicles as well.
Yep. So he owned a auto center where they worked on vehicles all the time, and they just were trying to find ways to enhance vehicles' performance and prevent them from breaking down.
And before we go any further, every time someone sees an oil additive or an engine additive, they say it's snake oil. So what do you say, Eli, to the folks that come right out and say, oh, that's got to be snake oil? What do you tell them?
Yeah, absolutely. Every time we hear somebody that says that, we just simply say, don't be shy, give us a try.
I looked at your website, and there's a bunch of reviews from real people that use Prolube, and the first thing a lot of them say is, this is not snake oil, it really works. So when you're using your oil additive there, what kind of results can folks expect from Prolube?
Yeah, exactly. So our main oil additive is going to be the Prolube oil treatment, and what really makes it different from everything else is it's an actual metal conditioner. So it has friction modifiers, additives built into it, and it's going to condition the metal of the internals of your engine. So it's not just going to be a regular, petroleum-based additive like that.
It's not just for your engine oil. Where else can you use it?
That's exactly right. So what makes this product different is that you can also use it not only in your engine, but your transmission, gearbox, power steering pump, and differentials.
And how much do you need then when you're using it?
Yeah, so what a lot of people are accustomed to with the oil additive market is that you have to use an entire quart in your motor. With our product, that's not the case. So we have all of our directions on the back for all of the components that you can use our product in and the treatment ratios. So the most simple one that we have is 2 ounces of Prolube per quart of motor oil.
And you have plenty of left over for the rest of the vehicle.
Yeah.
And you guys make it easy too, because you sell the cup with the ounces right on it. Why?
Yep. So we've been getting a lot of calls into the shop about people's wives calling us pretty upset. They're like, hey, my husband's been using my glass measuring cup out of the kitchen, and I want to get him something that, he can get dirty. So we're like, okay, let's come out with a measuring cup.
All right, guys, so this will save your engine and this will save your marriage. Just remember that. You got some other stuff here on the table. This is for air tools. Of course, those need to be lubricated as well. How do you use that, and how much do you need to use?
Yeah, so air tools, as you know, use very little. So just every time you use your air tool, just put a couple drops in there, and that also has our metal conditioning friction modifier additives built into that as well.
We've seen that with the engine oil additive, and then here with the air tool lubricant, it's going to last a long, long time.
Absolutely, yeah. So with our products, what we really pride ourselves on is a little bit goes a long way.
All right, and then on to the grease here. This is not just a typical grease, the red sticky stuff you see all the time. How is it different?
So first off, right off the bat, if you feel the texture of it, it's going to be a lot more slick, and that's due to our metal conditioners that we add to the red lithium high temp grease. And what it makes that do is, instead of just a traditional grease where you have to replace it, maybe every 2 to 3 weeks, this grease will last twice, sometimes even 3 times longer.
You listen a lot. We talked about the cups, and that was kind of a funny story, but you listen a lot to your customers. And what do they have to say, and what kind of changes do you make based on what they tell you?
Yeah, so the feedback has been very great. A lot of them report that a lot smoother operation in their vehicle, and that their oil change intervals are lasting a lot longer.
Very cool. That's exactly what you're going for.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah, you were started over 40 years ago by your grandfather, and the company is still family owned and it's still very small.
Yes.
Why is that important to you, to still remain that way and stay true to your heritage?
Yeah, the main reason is because we want to keep the quality of our product the same, and we want to make sure that, if all of our hands are on it and touching it, that we can make sure that the quality is going to be the best that it can possibly be. And if there's ever an issue, we know exactly what happened, how to fix it, and make it right with the customers.
Well, it's insurance for a new a vehicle. It'll keep your older vehicle running smooth for a long, long time. You can find it at prolubeoil.com and see what this is all about. Try it for yourself. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by dragonfiretools.com, so don't go away.